Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends at what time you are watching this stream. And I'm really happy to meet with two great guys, two great board game guys, with Silvio, who is the director of Pendragon Game Studio. Is it okay, Silvio?
Yes, it's okay. Hi, Alex. Hi, all.
And the second guy on the right is Davide, who is the author of Great Game. We will be speak about it in just a second. Hello, Davide. How are you?
Hi, Alex, and hi all. Thanks. I'm quite fine. Just a little cold.
You told me that you have a little cold, but you have big smile, so I hope it will be okay even for you. Thank you very much to both of you that we have an opportunity to talk with you. Also, the people at the chat have an opportunity to talk with you, because if you would like to, you can write any questions, and Davide and Silvio, if they can, they will answer your questions. So the schedule, the content of today's stream will be two big things. One big thing is Pendragon Game Studio itself. We will talk about a lot of stuff which is connected to your studio. And second big thing is big game inside of the studio, and it's Starship Interstellar. And if you don't mind, we will start with this game, because it's very recent project of your studio and project, or maybe baby of Davide.
So yeah, if you want to start with Starship Interstellar, I think yes, it's a baby for me.
Yeah, I found that it is you are under this game. On Board Game Geek, there are two authors. You are one of them. And as I found out, it's your first project. It is true that it's your first game?
Yes, exactly. It's my first game.
Mm-hmm.
While the other author, she's Andrea Crespi, had many games in his history. So I think it's a better board gamer or a more expert game designer.
How it came that you started with the designing? Okay, maybe before I ask you a more deeper question about the design, I will switch to browser and show people your Kickstarter page, where they can see that this game is not a small game. It's more like Euro style. It's a little bit science fiction, and the viewers of our channel already have an opportunity to see the prototype. You send it to your partner in Czech Republic, and we were allowed to play it and to test it and to say something about it. And
we can say that the partner is Blackfire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Blackfire who will be publishing the game in Czech Republic, and I really honestly must say that I'm happy, because I was surprised and I really like the game. So the question is how it comes that your first game is such a big Euro-style game, because many authors start with, I am the first-time author, so I came with a small box full of 10 cards, 20 cards, because it's cheap, it's simple. So how it is with you that you created such a stellar monster?
It's a quite strange story, since Andrea, the other author, is not only a game designer, but he has a shop in which he sells board games, and I am one of his customers, I think. And one day he says to me that if I wanted to be his other author in a project, since we work very well, we are friends, and and he says that my mathematic behind my how can I say behind my studies will be perfect in order to develop a game and an Euro style game. So this is the start, the beginning of the project. Andrea told me that he had an idea about rotating planets, which are in Starship Interstellar, and he told me, okay, if you want, we can work together on this project. And then, since I love Euro style game, and Andrea also is in this with this idea, we work together in this way, simply.
And how long it takes, or when this strange story started? How long it takes to finish in Starship Interstellar?
In 2016.
Wow.
This was the beginning of the story.
Yeah, but I completely understand that it takes a lot of time to polish and clean up the game, and in some sense, I can feel it in the design that it's not a project that was created last year. Oh, we have a great idea for Euro style, and we will create it in half of an year, and then we throw it on the Kickstarter. Was there something surprising for you when I expect that you were a board gamer before, or you are a board gamer? You said you like.
As you can see, I am a board gamer.
Yeah, and have you find something really different or something new when you become designer?
Yes. First of all, when I play now, I see the design. If I can make a quote, I see the metrics. Since you see, okay, here the designer choose this way in order to, I don't know, to switch the player order. In this case, this is the value of the resources. Why he chooses these resources and not this one? Maybe you see a game into many different aspects. And before the design of Starship Interstellar, I simply play the game. Okay, you have some questions, but you play without having these questions at the time.
And isn't it now sometimes a little bit difficult with you, because you analyze always the the game and are talking about the design, that this is not so good, this is not so great, this is perfect? Isn't it difficult for your for the friends you are playing with now? Doesn't change the way how you play the games?
No, this haven't changed the way I play, but at the end of game, I try to answer to these questions that I do to myself, but I don't change the way I play. I love riddles. I love games in general. So. And I love mathematics, so I always try to see the patterns. I always try to see and to discuss why someone chooses a way and not the other. But this will not affect the way I play.
Okay, now I have a question for Silvio. How it was for you? How you see this project? It's not a small project. It's not a small game, and when I check your portfolio of Pendragon games, it's really wide, from the small games like Looters, which I know from Czech Republic, or Monsters versus Heroes, and I think Starship Interstellar is on the other side of this scale. How it was for you as a publisher when guys came to you and present you the project?
Okay. First of all, I know Andrea before Davide for years. Andrea was one of our first authors at the beginning of the company. Pendragon has been founded in 2014, so we are quite young, let's say. Even if me and the other people that works in Pendragon, my shareholders, came from a long time experience in the game board industry. So we worked for other companies in the past. But when we started in 2014, we looked for new games to produce, not only to localize, because we also localize in foreign titles for the Italian market. We met Andrea probably at the very beginning during a convention for game designers. We have an association here in Italy that is related to a German association for game designers, that is SATS. And they make this meeting every year where all the game designers stay together for 3 days and sharing their ideas. They play prototypes. And also the publisher are invited, of course. And Andrea was there with a strange project based on Apollo 13. You know, Houston, we have a problem, so that's Apollo. And Andrea is very passionate, a very fun and expert of everything that is space related, and that games was something very interesting, because it was trying to recreate the real situation of Apollo 13 with real information about all the problems that that mission has. So when we started, we were looking for games. That games was quite interesting, because it was trying to tell a story, not just a game, but also try to teach you something, a piece of our modern history. And so we decided to work together on that project. And it was a really great experience, because we decided to try to do the best real game possible. So we worked on real conversation of the astronauts with the NASA. We contacted the NASA. We also worked with the 2 of the astronauts of mission Apollo 13. There were 3 astronauts in that mission. One is dead a long time ago for a cancer, but the other 2, the captain and the other astronaut, were still alive. So we had the opportunity to show all we have done on that game, on the story, and sharing the picture, the prototype, also working with NASA, so also working with the pictures coming from the NASA. So that was a really great experience. Stay in contact with people that fly in the space, and they experience that incredible adventure. And they never arrived on the moon, but they probably it was one of the most famous mission of NASA. So. And of course, working on a board game like that means that you have to spend a lot of time with your game designer in staying in contact, working on the gameplay, working on collecting materials and sharing materials and information that we receive from the astronauts and from NASA. So we had a really long time to spend together. So of course, when you start this kind of relation, it's happened often that the game designer had a new game, a new project. He came to you and to show the project before our publisher. And that's happened for Andrea with Starship Interstellar. So he came to us because we worked together on Apollo 13. That is the game, and he showed me this big, huge project that was incredible. I mean, the board was It's 1 meter for 70 centimeters. It's really huge.
Yeah.
Of course, we are a board game lover. We love a lot to play it, to game test, and that was a really great experience. So we tried to understand there was enough space to make the Interstellar. Probably when he showed us the first time, we were not ready for a monster like that. So, and he told us, I have another project. I don't know if you could be interested in that one too. And it was the Thing, because Andrea is also the game designer for the Thing, the board game that we launched on Kickstarter 2 years ago, and we are going to release right now. So we decided to work on the Thing first, and then on Interstellar. So we have, as I say, we are working with Andrea since 2014 for 7 years on 3 different projects, and also the Thing was very time expensive, because it's a game related on a movie license, and that means you have to spend a lot of time to find the license, speak with the licensor, and the licensor is a Universal Pictures. Universal Pictures is not easy company, because it's a monster, so everything is really more complicated. But of course, we wanted to go through on Interstellar because we love the game. We have a lot of fun playing, and usually I lost every time I play, so I want to play again. But it's not easy. Also because usually I play with Andrea and Davide, and they know the game, they know the mathematics that is behind the game, and of course they can. In 15 minutes, they already done the entire game, and you are still waiting, thinking, what I have to do now, and they already. I win. That's my point. So I've done.
Yeah, it's always difficult to play games with authors.
Yeah, that's the authors. But it was very interesting. The first thing that you see when the game is on the table is that the planet system that is moving. That is really keep the attention to the players, and that is something that you want to see how it works. And was one of my first reasons that I decided to go through all the game and try to publish it. And then of course working with Andrea and Davide was a great experience. And we have other projects we will work on for the next future. So they're not part of the company as an employee, but they are really in good relation with us. Even if Andrea is publishing also with other companies. Andrea is also the game designer for Alone. Mm-hmm. That is another science fiction games from Horrible Guilds, and a family game that is called Potion Explosion. That's probably is more famous games that coming from Andrea Crespi. That is completely kind of game. It's more family plus game. But that's the story. I mean, we are more close to the very hardcore gamer, very expert games. If you go also to our localized titles, you can see that usually we try to produce games that are for high expert level, and they can try to tell you something, teach you something about science fiction or history or this kind of stuff. So that game was interesting because you are going to learn about the planets, the solar system, and even if there is a part of science fiction inside.
In fact, this was my question for Davide. If I will meet you and don't know anything about the Interstellar, how you will present the game? What you will say about it? What is Interstellar for you?
If I have to present the game, also if I have to say something about Interstellar, if you don't know anything about it, I think that, as Silvio said, it tells a story where in which humankind has almost destroyed the sun and the solar system, and as science taught us, the sun will become a red giant, and it will destroy Mercury, Venus, and then the Earth. So in Starship Interstellar, we have to build a gigantic interstellar ship, which gives the name to the game, and you have to save humanity, and you have to find a safe route to the TRAPPIST-1 system, which was I think the first system in which was found a planet similar to the Earth in 2016. So this is the theme of the game. If you have to talk about the mechanics, it's
maybe I'm sorry. I would like to say one thing that usually I'm joking about the themes of Eurostyle games. Yeah, that it's like you open the game, open the rule book. There is one paragraph, and you read it, and after the game you say, okay, but this game can be reskins to science fiction or to history. But I really agree that your game has really big theme, or you can feel the theme when you are playing the game, and part of it is that the mechanics are related to the theme. I mean, you said that the sun is going to change to red giant, and it is ticking clock. And
Exactly.
in the usual board game, it's like round marker, but here there is a little bit uncertainty when it comes. So this is one part of your game I really like. So I'm sorry to break you, but I must stress that your theme is really there. It's not only a poster for Kickstarter backers, but you can really feel it when you play the game. This I really like.
No, this was the first game, since Andrea loves, as Silvio said, the space theme, and he says, and I agree, that even if it's a Eurostyle game, the theme had to be into the game. When you play, you have to feel what you're doing. For instance, if you choose in the game to use this bad technology, which is destroying the sun, you can get resources for free, but you advance the solar spiral and the end of game, and you lose reputation, since you are destroying the Earth.
You are a bad guy.
Yes, you are a really bad guy. But you can gain reputation if you choose to save humanity. So I think that if you play Starship Interstellar, when you perform an action into the game, will happen exactly what you expect. You save humanity, you gain reputation. What else? You choose to develop a technology, and you get this new power. But even the technology is related to its name and to the theme. You can improve your public relations, for instance, and or your propaganda, and then you will lose less reputation if you use the technology of which is destroying the sun, for example. Since you say, no, it's for a great deal, we need these resources, and so humanity will say, okay, you will lose less reputation. These are one or two examples.
What was the? Can you compare the how it was at the beginning of the design and the end? Was there really huge or big change in the mechanics, or the game is more or less similar to the first version?
No, I think there are a lot of difference. You have, as intersection, you have the planets, which were moving even in the first prototype. But for instance, a great change was that in the beginning you have a fixed turn. In the first round, all players can go through the solar system. In the second phase, all players can do the market phase, and so on. And one day, Andrea told me, but why we need this fixed turn? And as you can see, we develop a system of this token building, which you can choose when you play the token, and so when you perform the action. But when you cover the token, you can't perform the same action anymore during the round. And so every player can create his own turn.
Yeah, in fact, I really like this mechanic a lot, because it gives you so many options, but it's easy. And I mean, you have options in combinations, but it's not so. You are limited what you can do at one moment. So I really like it. So I'm happy that you came with this this mechanic. It's really great. And in some sense, I feel that the game is divided into parts. The first part is the thing you are doing as a mining company, or you are trying to gather the resources, and the second part is saving the humanity, which is also not so typical, because usually you in games which are driven by actions, you can do everything all together, but you separate it. What was the reason to do this?
First of all, since as you can see in the number of actions, since you can repeat some actions, the ones with the infinity symbol, you can take a really longer turn than your opponent. And it was quite difficult to, I don't know if I can say it, since the main prestige points are done in the second phase, when you save humanity or you build the interstellar ship, we can't give you all the freedom in order to get these points. And we prefer to separate the two phases in order to create more interaction in timing in the second phase. Since you want to be the first player, so you can save the most valuable humanity, or you can build the most valuable interstellar mechanism. You can be the first player in order to reach Trappist. And if we want to get this interaction, we needed to separate the two phases. We choose to separate the two phases. First of all, with this aim.
Okay, so for now, I would like to ask Silvio, if I understand it well. Originally, you weren't the studio who published the games through Kickstarter, yeah? Because originally, if I understand it well, you published the board games, your own board games, directly to distribution and retailers, and also buying the games, or I don't know how to say, the games of the other publishers and publish it in Italy.
Yeah.
So what was why there was a decision to jump on the Kickstarter with project like The Thing and Starship Interstellar?
Everything probably started from The Thing. Because making a game with a license means also spending a lot of money. When you got a license, you have to pay in advance part of the royalties, and so you need to you need to have more numbers and bigger number as possible. And we started a Kickstarter for a long time from the beginning. Kickstarter is not easy, let's say, marketing tool. It's something that you have to learn. Probably when crowdfunding 10 years ago started, it was everything was more clear. Everyone could be on Kickstarter, making his own project, looking for crowdfunding to produce the project. But now is more a marketing tool, and that means that you have also to have a good project that you can use, you can put on Kickstarter, because there is a lot of job that you have to do before launching a project, a lot of money that you have to spend, so you need to have a right project to put on it. At the same time, Kickstarter is also a different channel than the usual one. I mean, the distribution or retail distribution is a different kind of public. Is a niche in the niche. Is let's say a store for a hardcore gamer, for the people that know really the board game. Of course, that is changed along the time. That was an idea to increase our business. We still have a good catalog of products that we localize from different companies, from different countries. We have a good partnership with Portal Games, so we have a Detective, for example, line that we produce. But we work also with our different companies along the world.
Most of them. Seen that you are preparing also the new Witcher from Go On Board.
I don't know why it's happening that we have a good way to speak with the Polish people. So we have a good relation with Polish companies. We have the Witcher, we have the Frostpunk, we have This War of Mine. We have a lot of games that came from Poland. I don't know, maybe it's for the people, maybe it's for the kind of games that the Polish market is produced now. There are more narrative games, the more let's say, it's a different kind of product. It's not just a European or Euro-style game or American game. It's just something more immersive. They give you a more immersive experience. Anyway, we decided to go to Kickstarter. When we decided that, we had already the thing, game and the license, and we say that we were not ready to launch a game, an important game. So we need to test the tool within our title. We had this game that called Last Aurora. That was a sort of Mad Max in winter, in the snow. And we decided to test, to learn something about the Kickstarter using Last Aurora. That was our first project, and it was a good experience. Of course, we started from zero. We had no that's just Last Aurora. We didn't have a lot of experience about how to use Kickstarter. It was an adventure. The project was successfully funded, and we also found a lot of new partnership with the help of Kickstarter, and we produced Last Aurora in more than 10 languages right now. So it's a good product, so it's selling very well. But everything we did with Last Aurora was something preparing to launch the thing. That was our major project that we want to put on Kickstarter. We think that Kickstarter was the right channel for the thing. The thing game is not again, it's an expert game. It's an experience. It's something that you need a very niche consumer or player. So we thought that Kickstarter was the right channel to start with, and again, the campaign was very, very, very successful. We we gained more than 5,000 backers during the campaign along the world, and of course our publisher came to produce the game in their own language. And we are on fulfillment the bakers right now. We are in delivering the games, and then we go in distribution also. So we are at the end of the Kickstarter campaign for The Thing. We are at the beginning for Starship Interstellar. That's a new adventure for us. And we are working right now in making our new all the steps of the production steps for delivering the game as soon as we can.
I definitely would like to talk also about The Thing a little bit later. For me, the interesting part of the Kickstarter for Interstellar was really big amount of languages that was announced already during the launch of the Kickstarter. So if I understand it well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 languages. One of them was Czech language, which is great. And what was the campaign was successfully founded, even though it's not as big as for The Thing, which is understandable because The Thing is really huge trademark. Yeah. But my question is, what was the concept? You had already a lot of partners in many countries, or it's on your shoulders? The different language versions, or how was the strategy with the production of this game?
For Interstellar, we decided to start with 5 languages, with major 5 languages. Major, I mean major markets, and we put Italian in the major languages, not because it's a major market, but because it's our market, and we know a little bit better than other markets. So we decided to start with English, German, Spanish, and Italian, and French from the beginning. And it was quite easy because the game is, since you played, is language independent at the end. I mean, there is just the rule book that should be translated, or there are components are, let's say, without language. There is a very small text on some tokens on the player sheets and nothing else. So we decided we can produce in 5 languages because most of the components are the same for all the languages. So that was not a big deal. So we started thinking to 5 languages from the beginning without any real partners on board when we launched the campaign. But we have a long experience in making games with our international partners. So we presented the project in Essen during the Spiel to our partners, and we worked during the campaign to find some partners that wanted to join the production. For example, we decided to go for French by ourselves, but now we have a French partner that will be on charge of the French translation. And the same for the Spanish, and we have a German partner also, and of course we will produce in Italian. So even if we started with 5 languages, now we have a partner for that. For the Czech Republic it was a project that we show in Spiel to the team manager from Blackfire.
To Michael.
To Michael, yes,
yeah.
To Michael. And of course, we have some of our games with Blackfire, so we have a relation with Michael, a business relation with Blackfire, so it was quite easy to present the game. He was very excited about the title, and he decided to join us from the beginning of the campaign. So when we started, we have also the Czechs on board as a partner. That was Blackfire, and was everything easy to have directly the Czechs version of the game. So that was for for the Czechs. Now we have some other partners that are enjoying the production, like the Hungarian, for example, that they have not decided to have to join the campaign, but to produce the game anyway. There are companies that they prefer to have the game. They have the announcing their language during the campaign. Some other companies that want to see, how the campaign is going on, or they don't want to announce the language because they think that can risk sales. It depends company to company. But that was from Interstellar. We at the beginning we decided to start by ourselves on all the 5 languages on our shoulders. Czech was and the Polish was there were only 2 partners that we have when we started.
And how was the campaign for you, Davide? It was your first campaign, if I'm not mistaken. How you see it? What you felt? What was your experience, your feelings during the campaign, after the campaign? We met already on Board Game Geek because I found that you are active there. We asked some questions and you replied really in a fast way in one day. So I appreciate it.
It was my first campaign since it was my first game, and I was really excited during the campaign. I think I wrote Silvio in the morning, in the afternoon, during the night maybe.
Sunday, every time.
Sunday. Silvio always told me, Davide, it's Sunday. You don't have to write me on Sunday. You have a family. You stay with the family.
Yes, it was not for me. It was for his family. Yes. Davide, he has a baby that is 1 year old, probably, or it's very, very young. So you say you have to spend your weekend with your family. Don't think about the campaign. I mean, there is entire companies running, and there are people that are thinking about that. But he was very, anxious. Are we doing well? What I can do? Can I make a video, or can I make a poster? Can I do something to? It was very anxious, but it's understandable. Also for us, the first experience was really an experience. Now, after sometimes we know how Kickstarter works, so we know that we have different kind of times. We prepared everything in advance, so we were quite relaxed during the campaign. Not exactly relaxed, but we knew what could happen, so we were ready for the campaign.
You're correct, Silvio. I have to spend my Sundays in another way. Okay.
Yes.
I was really, really excited. As Silvio said, I tried to answer on Board Game Geek, on other posts in Italian forums, for instance, or I think on the Kickstarter page itself. And every day I was checking. When I was working at the PC, I see, okay, today we got new bakers. How many? And at the end of this campaign, I think I can say I'm really, 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 really happy of this experience. And I have to thank Silvio, since without Pendragon and without Silvio, I wouldn't have this opportunity.
How you found relation with the community? Was there also some tough things you have to communicate, or everything was smooth? You have no problem? Because I was 2 years ago, I was also part of Kickstarter campaign, so I really know that there are really rough days during the campaign, and even though the campaign is successful, sometimes it's tough. So how it was for you? Was there some bad parts, or everything was sunny and funny?
I think the worst part was about Silvio, so I think he will answer it. Since I have to only to answer on design. If someone told me, okay, how this rule works, or something about the design in general, I will answer it, and I had no problems. Even if you can say, okay, I don't like this game. I think this game is too long. You say, oh, okay, you can say it if you want, but Andrea and I had the game and registered, recorded the game, and we played an entire game in I don't know 2 hours. 2 hours, but speaking during the video and describing the actions. So you can tell if you want that there are 4-hour, 5-hour games, but as you can see, it's not. This is not the real time. So only sunny days for me. No problems in answering to these posts. I don't know for Silvio.
So and you, Silvio, how are the Kickstarter campaign for you? Because you can bear the pressure easily, or sometimes it's difficult for you.
I'm old enough that I have some of our people that can manage that for me, because that is easier. The company had our people so I'm lucky enough that I have not to manage everything. I know that sometimes people writing, asking for more information, asking questions. It's happening also with our campaign, but it's happening always. I mean, it's part of the world when we are all connected. That anyone can reach the publisher and can say what he thinks, posting on Facebook, on Instagram, or writing, on messaging. It's part of our business. We have a relation with our consumers. The consumers write us, and we have to reply them. And the Kickstarter, it's the same. It doesn't work in a different way. Of course, when you have 5,000 bakers, everything is a little bit more complicated, because you are reached from many big numbers of questions. And when the campaigns are a little bit smaller, that's quite easy. It's also a good thing having feedback from the consumers, because you can understand that you made some mistakes. Sometimes it happens, so you can learn from the comments that you receive. Of course, sometimes it happens that not all the comments are right in the right way, in the right mood. The people sometimes are upset, so they are using not good and kind words. But it's part of the modern communication. So we have just to try to, as I say, filter everything and think about twice before replying. Sometimes we won't just reply all the way as the other words, but you have to think about what you're writing, because many times the people that write you bad, they're not really meaning something bad. They are just typing on their keyboard, and they don't think exactly there is another human being on the other side, and that maybe have to be more kindly, and they cannot receive a reply anyway. We are trying to reply to everyone. Sometimes we lost some messaging, but that is not because we don't want to reply, it's just because we maybe receive too many messages at the same time. But having feedback from the people is also always very useful. It helped a lot us to change our way to do some things and to increase to do something better for the future.
Maybe when we are talking about Kickstarter, maybe it's a good time to talk more widely. I mean also about the other project like The Thing. I'm checking that the project was launched 2020, in the autumn of 2020, which was in some sense the second wave of COVID. And how it was for you to work during COVID, and fulfill such a big project during this situation?
Okay. Different replies, because working during the COVID doesn't really work.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Yes, I don't know why I just switched off the mic. I was saying that working during the COVID time with our people was not so bad, because our company is we have many people that doesn't live in the same city, so we are web connected, and we working on remote. We work on remote with Davide, with Andrea, with some of our people at the company. So we are used to work on web. It was something that doesn't really change a lot. I mean, just the working, the day working on fulfilling, on working on the project, or selling the games during the COVID, it's another part. And of course, all the game industries have been really hit and hard during the COVID time, and the sales were very bad. We had lockdown, the stores closed. It was not easy. We were lucky enough because we had a project on Kickstarter project that we were ready to launch. So it was something that we already planned before COVID. And of course, having a kind of project in a bad time was good for us, because we could keep working, keep having money to work on the project, keep the company alive and in good shape. So that was helped a lot. On the other side, after 2 years of COVID, and now that we are facing as a community the war in Ukraine, that's again it's not easy. It's not easy situation. It's not easy moment. We had a very bad impact on the costs. With not just us, I mean the entire community and the entire hobby market, but also the entire world. Everything has been more expensive in rough materials and in shipping. When we planned and prepared our campaign for the thing, we in our business plan we had a cost for the shipping, and now that cost became 6 times. The containers, the cost of shipping a container from China, going from $2,000 to $12,000 per container. That means that really hurt our margin and kill our margin, and that was not easy. And we didn't ask anything to our partners, business partners. We didn't ask anything to our backers. We paid for that because that was the project. I mean, what we asked for the backers. We didn't want to ask more money because we had to pay more, but that was not really help a lot us. The situation is not only also more expensive. I mean, it's not really hit the cost of production of shipping. It also costs a delay.
Yeah.
Planned to deliver the game on December. That was the plan that we promised to our backers in campaign, and we are delivering now. This is April, so we have 4 months of delay. That was not something that we really could plan, because everything is changed from the time that we planned the campaign and from the time we launched the campaign. The factories were closed for lockdown, for the COVID, for months. And then when they reopen, they receive a high demand of production of games and other stuff, cars, mobiles, and what else. And the materials were sold out everywhere. There is no materials enough for the people. So we have to move our production window for months because there are no paper where to print the game. And that's, of course, really hurt our timeline for the production. And the same happened for the shipping. Usually, in the past, we could ship a container in 40 days. Now, with the thing was ready before Christmas in China, the 10th of December, and we received the first container at the end of March. So we spent more than 3 months moving a container from China. So also that really create a delay that, of course, the bakers are not happy because, and we are not happy too, because we wanted to deliver the game on the time that we plan. But we live in a situation, in a global situation, where it's very complicated to make any plan. And when we manage a new title, when we localize a new title, even if we have a deadlines or estimated time that the publisher, the partner is giving us, is always delay because we don't know we have in the paper, we don't know when we can ship a container, and there is companies that they need containers, and it's happened twice to us that a container moving from China to Europe has been stopped in Singapore because there was another container paid from I don't know, mobile company that paid more than us. So they put their container on my boat and they just put down my container in Singapore port waiting for another boat, another vessel coming in. Well, so it's something that you can plan. It's something that's happened, and usually you know always weeks later. So when you speak with the freight forwarder and say, okay, I know that the vessel is coming, so everything is okay. No, the vessel is coming, but your container is not on that vessel because he's waiting for another vessel in Singapore.
That's great.
And you can upset as you want. I mean, you can tell what you want, but still your container is in Singapore, and you have to wait. And of course, they want to be paid, and they paid in advance, so to be paid before having the money, having the products. It's a tough situation. It's very difficult, and of course, all these delays, all these costs increasing are hitting, and they will hit the SRP at the end. Many companies are already starting to increase the costs of the board games, but and of course that will hurt the sales because at the end the cost, the consumers have that money in the pocket, and it's not an easy situation. We are living in a very tough times. We hope that the war is going to be finished very soon, even if we don't see very good signs right now.
Yeah. In fact,
we have good games. That helps a lot to stay on the market. And we are very lucky because we work on something that we really like. But I understand that for other people, I mean, that is a very bad situation. I mean, we really hope for the best for all, but it's not easy.
In fact, I'm curious what is the timeline for the Starship Interstellar, and if you change the approach, how you, for example, collect the money for shipping? Because, for example, for ours Kickstarter, it was the same. We collected the money for shipping quite close to the campaign, and then we lose the money because of the increase in the shipping. And I think the paradigm of the Kickstarter and how you collect the shipping has to be changed a little bit because the recent situation is so turbulent that you can't estimate what will happen 1 year ago when your production will be finished and you will be ready to ship the product. So have you changed something, or were you thinking about changing the timeline for Starship Interstellar?
The problem is that we are going to, when you publish it, when you launch a campaign, you have to go to give some information to your public, to your consumer, to the bakers. So you have to print the cost of the shipping. You can say, we will tell you how much does it cost in the next 6 months, because otherwise the people that don't want to make any pledge on that. So we just calculated part of the shipping cost inside the cost production. There is no other way. We just want to be to hope that the situation could not be worse than as it is, because I mean 6 times the cost of the shipping cost is already a lot of cost, a big increase. And the real thing is that there is not a real reason why that's in cost increasing, because when it's happened, when we started, the increasing cost of the container was before the starting the war. Was a long time ago. I mean, it was just because there are a lot of production going on after the COVID lockdown in China. So there are a lot of products that want to be shipped. So there are too many products that the people that they own the containers in the ports, I don't know, that kind of companies, the first ports, they decided to increase the cost because they want to decide who's shipping, which container shipping. Okay, so let's start increasing the cost and see who is paying the double. So who pays the double will be the first to be shipped. And of course, so everyone said, I have to pay the double because we need the products, and without products we can't make any money. And producing in China is still cheaper than producing in Europe, so we can afford double, and that's happened for. So then again, why not selling a container 3 times cost or 4 times cost? I don't know if there is space for 7 or 8 or 9 times, because it will be too expensive. I know there are companies that are not shipping; they are just keeping mostly the production in China, waiting for the better price, or maybe just shipping a small portion of the printers and making warehousing and logistics and stock over there and waiting for the better price. So we have delays sometimes because we're trying to find some discounts, and we have to. That is part of a risk that we have to put on our shoulder as a company. I hope that that situation not be worse than it is, because that could be very tough, very, very difficult to manage.
Yeah, I agree. Davide, how it is now for you? You are still doing some job or work or things on Starship Interstellar, or as Silvio already mentioned, are you working on some new project?
I think that Starship Interstellar is almost closed. The gameplay is fixed, and then the same holds for all the modes, the solo mode, for instance, or the expansions. As Silvio mentioned before, yes, I'm working again with Andrea on a new project. But it's just an hobby for me, since my main work is another, and I am a math teacher. So in free time, I try to design something with Andrea.
You are a math teacher, and in your free time, you are doing math for board games.
Yes, I have many hobbies. This is one of them. I don't know. I have For instance, I have a YouTube channel for recreational mathematics.
Oh, I see.
So I have many hobbies.
Maybe because you are a gamer, I wanted to ask you if it's possible to present. If I should be honest, I really don't know anything about Italian board game market and players and how the market looks like. No question. It's how it looks like. How are board games in Italia? Because I know quite a few famous names of designers from Italia, but surprisingly, I know nothing about the market. I know a lot about Germany. I really know a lot about France, about Great Britain, but Italia, behind the wall of Alps, it's somewhat secret country, you know.
I think this is a question for Silvio more than for me.
Yeah, I will ask him afterwards, but I would like to know your perspective as a board gamer, you know.
Okay. I think that I started playing board games, I don't know, like 10 years ago, almost 9-10 years ago. And 10 years ago, very few people knows board games. All people plays Monopoly, or I think Risico or Risk, which is almost the same. But no one plays, I don't know, Citadels, Agricola, this Settlers from Catan, and these titles. And during these years, I saw that a lot of people try to play at least the most famous board games. I think that Ticket to Ride, Dixit, Catan itself were played by a lot of Italian people. But there are even in this time, there are few people play Euro-style games or quite expert games. But Silvio has a more wide perspective than me.
So Silvio, what's your perspective? How you see Italia as a country of board games?
Okay. I said before speaking about Interstellar that we started with 5 major languages and we put Italian as a major language. That is not true. It's just because we are Italian. Italy is is not a small country, but a small market. Maybe it's also is a waiver reason. I mean, Nordic countries have better markets, maybe because they have more time to spend inside, at the homes, in the homes, playing with the families. In Italy, there is, better time during the year. We have more sun. We spend more time outside. So that's from the beginning. The board games never been really a huge market. And the people started, they play just as Davide said, Monopoly, Risk, Cluedos, these family games. So we started producing and selling board games not so far away. I mean, 10 years, 15 years, maybe that's the time of the market. The things are changing now. 15 years ago, there was just one company that was producing all these titles. There was not really big imports, not the translation or localization. And that company was just selling Monopoly and Risk, and they didn't need to sell anything else. So they are not looking for our games to put on the shelves. They're selling those very well, and they didn't need to expand the markets. Oh, now the situation is quite changed. This changed, I say, from in the past few years, and that's happened when Asmodee came in Italy. When Asmodee bought one of small Italian companies and put the money in that company. It's the same probably that is happening also for the chess market. Asmodee put a lot of money on this market and on that company that was Asterion and now is Asmodee Italy. They had the opportunity to increase the market because they had the money, not coming from the market itself, but coming from financing the marketing. So they spending this money in producing more games, in producing more family games, but also in putting these games in broader markets, not just only on hobby stores. So they had, of course, they had games like Dixit that was or Double, that was games were easy to put in supermarket stores, but at the same time they had the power and the finance, the money to marketing them and to push them as a good seller. So Asmodee really changed a lot our market, because putting money in the market also means that they lower up the level of market. They pushing all the companies to making more efforts to looking for different kind of games, for different people, different targets, and opening a different situation. So that's helped a lot, and that's happened only in the past 7, 8, 9 years. That's when Asmodee came. I don't remember right now what was the time, but probably was 2012 or 13. That was when Asmodee came and put the money on the market. That's helped a lot. That changed the market. And now that is a different kind of market. It's not the same size of a Spanish one. That is a similar weather condition than us. But for sure, Asmodee helped a lot all the European market. They put a lot of money on the industry, and and they use that money to enlarge the marketing, the target for all of us.
Wow, that's really interesting perspective, because, for example, in our country, Asmodee, or I think in many countries, Asmodee is viewed as some kind of devil, you know, big company who is buying the others. But I am really glad that you
they
said
have the
this.
money and do it. Yes, it's true. It's true, and it's a sort of a devil company. But at the same time, without Asmodee, we will not have this kind of market for sure. I mean, they put a lot of money in the market.
Thank you for saying that. That's really
helped a lot all our companies, all the market. Without those money, probably we was not we was in another situation. We will be in another situation.
I'm really surprised. I was really surprised. Like, I don't know, 2 years ago, I was talking about Italian market with one of the other distributor than Blackfire. And I was surprised that the amount of the sold boxes was more or less similar, like in Czech Republic, but the population in Italy is much bigger. You know, I don't know how many. It's 70 millions, or I don't know.
Yes, as I say, we are not small countries, but that is a small market. Sometimes the countries like Greece, for example, they can sell more games than us.
That's surprising. And how it is...
And that's 7 million people, not 70 million people.
Oh, okay.
It's 10 times.
And how it is for you? If you can you compare your original board games that you produce and the titles that you import from the other companies, how they are sold in your market? Is there any difference if it is original Italian game or it is imported game from afar?
I believe, I mean, it's also, you know, it depends a lot of the marketing on the advertising, and the people usually want to buy the games that are more buzzing, the more rumors about. So, of course, we receive more information, and there is more marketing on games coming from US or games coming from Germany. So we are selling probably better than titles than the Italian ones. Even if in the past few years, some of our game designers have become really important on the market, and hobby market, worldwide side. So now probably the consumer are more, let's say, that they want to play also the Italian game design. In the past, they want just to play the German ones, like Uwe Rosenberg, or people coming from Poland, or people coming from US, just because there are these companies that have a better market. They can spend more money in advertising and communication, so the people usually buy the product that have more communication, even if maybe it's not better than some other games that you have in the market. It's always about communication, always about money. So at the end, the people that so you know, Descent, for example, from Asmodee Fantasy Flight. That is a game. It's a good game, but it's not really something really special. We probably have.
Sorry, I didn't catch the name of the game.
Descent.
Your Descent. RPG. You mean? Mm.
Yes, it's a very easy game. I mean, it's a dungeon crawling game. I'm sure there is other dungeon crawling game in the Italian market that are good enough to compete with the Descent. But that's coming from USA. That's have a very bright and colorful cover, and it's a big box, and a lot of communication and marketing and money is spent on that. And there is also an app, and so the people, they prefer to spend on that title 100 euros than buying another Italian title for 50 euros, just because there is more buzz and rumors on those ones. But I believe that the Italian production are same quality level right now, or the American ones or German ones. We have very good game designers like Luciani or Chiacchiera. Or there is a lot of game designers. Andrea Chiavesio, for example, is that's one of. It started working with us. One of my first project on the board game industry was Kingsburg board game by Andrea Carvesio, and now Andrea Carvesio is lead game designer for Culmini. Mm-hmm. So that means something at the end. You know, Culmini is one of the most free big companies for kind of games. And the lead game designer is an Italian one, and he has an entire team that he works with him from Torino for Culmini, even if Culmini is an Asian company. Mm. So that means something. But of course, then when you have the big broad communication, the same for Awakening Realms that owns also GameFound, when they announce something just because they have a good cover, but they also have a great communication system, they can reach more people and more interest than any other project. That's his market. I mean, that's his market for everything. When you have a more when you can show your product to a wider audience, it's easy to sell better than some other product that have not the same marketing push behind.
Maybe I think it is right time to jump to your latest latest announced project, which is based on a really big movie. It's called Escape from the New York with Kurt Russell, the old movie from 1981, I think.
Maybe 83, I don't remember, but probably was 1 year after The Thing. No, you are right, 81. So it was 1 year before the thing. So it's my fault. Yes, that we announced the Escape from New York, the board game, just after Starship Interstellar campaign.
And how it comes that you are creating second game based on the movie of John Carpenter? You like movies of John Carpenter?
Of course, we are of that age. I mean, we are old for. I mean, we are very. That's part of our teenage time, probably. Right. And it was a very easy choice because after the thing and the success of the campaign and the launch of the project, it was a very easy choice. It was not easy to get the license because getting a license is always very complicated. It is also a very long journey. But I mean, again, John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. It was something very. Why not? And that is a game. That is more understandable kind of game because you have to escape from New York. And, so you are there and you have to escape. So it's very clear also the kind of game we are producing. And we decided to use this time an English game design, American game design. That is Kevin Wilson. Kevin Wilson worked with Fantasy Flight in the past, and he worked also on many other Kickstarter projects like Batman, like Ninja Turtles. He worked on Descent. We worked on Arkham Horror. So he had a great experience to work on licensing, on licensed games. And so we decided to work with Kevin for this game. But it's a great game. We really loved it. The game is we already done the gameplay. We already play tested. We are working on the graphic and layout in the game right now and on approval.
And can you tell us a little bit about what sort of game it is?
It's easy, as I say. You have to escape from New York.
Sure.
So it's very easy.
And it's cooperative or competitive?
Okay, that is the funny part. We have different kind of modes.
So
you can play cooperative, working together to fight. If you remember the movie, in the movie, Kurt Russell, that was Snake Plissken, he had to go to in New York to get the president and the tape. But to escape from New York, he has also to find a map of the bridge, because without a map of the bridge, he can't. So the players, there are the players are Snake Plissken, Cabby, Brain, and Maggie. So 4 characters from the movie. They have to find where is the president, because they start from the downtown New York, from the central part of New York, and they have to find where is kept. And every time, every game, the president is in a different place. Of course, it's a card. It's a tile of the board of New York. So you have to find where is the president. Then you have to find the tape, and then you have to find a way to escape. Of course, this information are on different kind of tiles, so you have to look where are the items you need. You can also find a fake tape, for example, that you can use to when you don't play cooperative and you play.
You mean end of the movie?
Yeah, like at the end of the movie, exactly. So you can use the fake tape to try to escape from New York, and of course, there are the bad guys that are in different places of New York. And when you try to find the president, you can find one of the bad guys. And there are also the bands that are going on in New York and try to stop you and kill. It's more American kind of game, American style kind of game. So it's more, let's say, zombie-side kind of game. It's not that easy. Every player has on his own deck of cards, and it has to play 2 of these cards. These cards give you, there are different kind of cards for each player. Give you kind of action you can do, like shooting or moving or sneaking or every action you can using. And but at the same time, New York react to the action of the players. So there are also the bad guys that are moving on the boards. But as I say, you can work with the players, but also you can try not cooperative, to be competitive with the player and trying to step back and try to get the president and escape from the other players. There are different way to play the game. It's fun.
Are you, Davide, somehow participating on the development of the game as a beta tester, or this game is completely out of your reach at the moment?
No, I have nothing to do with this game.
but
no, we had not the opportunity to show to Davide, if I remember well, yet, because we were very, very focused with Davide on Interstellar. And the game Interstellar is done, but of course there are a lot of small decisions that we have to take about, for example, you have seen that the 4 players in Interstellar are 4 nations. So we have USA, you have China, we have Europe, and when Davide and Andrea designed the game, the 4 player was Russia.
This will probably change.
And that will change, of course, because the situation, we decided to, it was something that has been asked by the bakers in campaign. We thought, we have thought a lot about how we change it, and we decided to change all the nations. So we will make 4 different corporations, future corporations, with strange names that are working on managing and building the Starship. They are not anymore nations, they are corporations. So let's say sort of SpaceX or Virgin Entertainment that launch their missiles in the space. So we are trying to change it completely, so there is no any other relations to the political situation, the actual political situation, or for the future one. That was the best decision that we can take. Even if when Davide and Andrea designed the game, we couldn't expect what's happened when we started the campaign, because the invasion from Russia in Ukraine, it was started during the campaign. It was probably the second day of a campaign or something similar. It's very, very beginning.
In fact, so I think no one can expect something like this.
No.
Yeah, so I was asking Davide because of the testing, because you told me before we started that you were playing together The Thing, the game The Thing, and I'm curious. Because The Thing, I had the opportunity to play the game last week, and I must admit that I think that the game simulates the mood of the movie in a really great way. I think the mechanics are fine, they are working for me, but the point is that they are allowing the tension and the tough atmosphere at the table, and this is why I like the game. It needn't to be the best in the mechanic, but if it is not simulating the atmosphere, the game with the title The Thing, it won't be interesting, and it is. So my question was how it is with the Escape from New York. Is it also your goal to recreate the atmosphere at the table, or you more target now on the mechanics?
The thing, of course, there are two different kind of movies. They are completely different. It was probably the plot in New York is more, let's say, plain. There is no any really the same kind of sensation that you have when you see the thing. This is more easy. It's more let's say linear plot. So of course these are since are games related to the movies. We have to be very close to what happened, and it's different. This completely kind of different game, and we try to recreate the same situation and give it also some more. But at the end is a race to find something and to escape. The same kind of sensation or experience you have with the thing that is more. Also, in the movie there is more. More speaking with the actors. They have a discussion about who is the thing, what you are doing, why you are doing that, and so that was more. Probably it was very difficult, but we had a good good results. That was what we want to bring in the board game. Mm-hmm. So the thing for the board game is a very peculiar kind of game. There is a traitor kind of game like Battlestar Galactica, and there is some manage resource management inside, but the core of the game is more role-playing game. You have to play a role. You have to be a sort of actor, to have to act, and to have to hide your real faction. So it's more immersive. For Escape is let's say it's more American game, so easy also to it's very linear, the movie, and the game has to be very 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 similar in that way. And we have put some tricks inside.
Okay, and when we can expect the campaign, do you already have some plan?
Yes, the idea is to launch before the end of the year. As I said, we are very close to finalize everything, so we are in a good step. So we are going to show the first prototypes to our. We have a convention in end of May, in about 1 month, in Modena. Near to Bologna, close to Bologna, and we are going to show the games to some of the Italian content creators, some Italian bloggers. So we are ready to start preparing prototypes and having some feedback from the public. Maybe September or not later than October probably, because everything is quite ready. Also, the miniatures already done.
You are definitely in my focus after I played Starship and the thing. So my last question for Davide is, what's your recent plan? What's your recent plan as a designer, as a player, or whatever? Where are you going now?
This is a really difficult question. I try to answer. As I said before, game designing is for me, first of all, an hobby. It was a dream to get to publish a game, and I will try to to design other games. Maybe again with Andrea, which is for real a great friend of mine. Maybe with other authors if possible, or alone. For sure, I will always play board games. This is sure. I will buy first of all, and then if I can, I will play. Since as you can see, many games are new, are brand new, and I haven't played yet. But
still unplayed.
this is the main thing. And as Silvio said, since I have a little baby, I think I will try to teach to her board games during I don't know, maybe when she's 3, 4. With the
I started when my daughter was 2 years old.
Okay, fantastic. So I will try the same.
I started with games from Haba.
Oh, nice. I will check it.
Yeah. Okay, and Silvio, is there something I forgot to ask about your company, about your plans, or some mysteries you still want to share with us?
We have some other projects we are working in the same time. And the good things that we have good designers that are working with us and then showing us new projects. And we have already something for the next years and also related to our license.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to.
Yes, you have to, because we are working for some new projects to bring on Kickstarter, on crowdfunding platform on next year and to release in 2024. And we are working on the gameplay right now. So we have a long pipeline of production, of schedule, pipeline of game production for the next future. So yes, please.
So thank you very much to both of you for sharing your ideas, your secrets. I am really looking forward to when I will have the opportunity to play the final version of the Starship Interstellar, because me and my friends, we are really into Euro-style games, but not every game fit our taste. And this was really big surprise to find out some new designer and new game we haven't heard before, and we found that it's great and that it will be published in Czech. So thank you very much for this game. I hope you will have great success and a lot of people will find out, as we did, that the game is really great. And
time. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and with the Czech public, of Czech consumers. It's really important to us that there is people that can appreciate also our games in our countries. I think that's also for Davide. Having his product is the same for me. Every time that we have another language on board on a project or another partner coming, is really great things. I mean, having our products available in our languages is always really appreciated.
Yes, same for me. I agree perfectly with Silvio's word, and thanks for this interview. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. So please greeting to all of your team and also the other authors like Andrea. Thank you for creating such a great games, and I hope it is not the last time that we meet, and maybe after you published a new game, we will meet again and talk about the new stuff, new projects.
For sure, for sure.
We hope so.
So thank you to our viewers for being with us. Also those that are watching the stream afterwards. We will be happy if you wrote any comments under the video. I will share it with the Silvio and Davide, that there are some comments. And have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.